Okay, this is a quick rundown on how to install this gauge on the Gravely ProTurn ZX, ProTurn Z, ZTHD, or the Ariens Apex, or the Ariens Zenith. So the tools you're going to need: one, you're going to need a 2-inch hole saw, or 52 millimeter, something like this, not one of these. I don't think this will go. I tried to go through this with this, didn't work. Now you will need one of these, or if you have the whole set of these, you can obviously use these. You have to do a 1 1/4 inch hole in here for the sending unit. But to get through this steel, this is thick, and I don't think you're going to do it with this. So I used one of these. Obviously you'll need a drill and a screwdriver and some drill bits. You want to start off real small and certainly work your way up to see what size for the bolt here. You'll need some wiring connectors. I would recommend using some loom like this if you want to look all professional. Heat shrink, that kind, basic wiring stuff. I used some of this PC11. This is a 2-part epoxy. You don't have to use that. You could use probably the orange gasket maker or nothing. But when I installed this sending unit, I put a little bit of epoxy around these threads, down in there and in the threads, just so there's a rubber gasket under here, but fuel could seep up around the threads and you could actually get a leak right here. I will tell you, this thing is rock solid with that rubber gasket and this epoxy that I use on the threads. I mean, I think that's the way to go. Measurements. So when you want to drill the hole for this sending unit, if you fold the seat up 2 1/4 inches from this edge to the center of this thing, and 1 3/4 from the edge to here. And you've got room to move it around, but that's where mine is, and it works fine. This sending unit is a 5.5 inch. I will put the picture of it on the screen, the one I ordered. If you can't find this one, I would go 5 inch, don't go 6, because a 6 inch will basically be touching the bottom. And the issue is these are float sensors, so the float comes up and down, and there's a good chance that you will run out of gas before the gauge reads empty. So there could be the possibility that if you get the 6 inch sender, it's going to be almost touching the bottom of the tank. You could have it where this is sucking air before this is showing empty. But make sure you get high resolution. And what that means is, for this one, the 5.5 inch, this shows 9 different readings. And if you look, the gauge has 9 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 8 gaps, but 9 spots. So this only puts out 9 different signals. Empty, 8, quarter, and so on, all the way around. If you get a low resolution one, a lot of those only have 5. So you would go from empty, all the way to a quarter, all the way to a half, all the way to 3/4, and then all the way to full. The gauge the gauge is from the same people as this. I bought them together. It's the same company, AOD Tech or whatever. But you want to make sure you buy the gauge and the sending unit from the same people. I would take your hole saw and stick it on here, and just after you get the hole drilled in the center, and kind of scrape it around and see if you can take a razor knife or something and trim this, because there is a protective, like a thick vinyl coating on here. So I'd go through and you could just make it a neat circle. The other thing is when you're drilling this out, the center one, you just use some air while you're drilling. It'll blow the little plastic chunks away. And then when you drill these out, as long as you have your drill going, drilling and hold it, it's going to pull the plastic out. But the other piece of caution is when you're doing these, start off with a tiny hole and get it to where you can just get these to screw in. These tanks are thick. They're about that thick. So there's actually plenty of room for those threads to engage, but you don't want to oversize these, because if you do that, then you're figuring something else out. You're going to have to buy thicker screws or bolts or something. I'll put the wiring diagram up here that I used, but I used the existing wiring. There's a provision in here. There's 2 leads that aren't used. They are for either a light kit or USB or both. You can actually install both. But if you have the light kit, you can power this light separately, so this light would only come on when you turn your headlights on. I'll put the image of that wiring up there. And so there's, from the factory, there's 2 unused connectors underneath here, which if you watch the whole video, you'll see. One's purple, one's black. Purple's hot, 12 volt keyed. So keyed on, keyed off, there's no power. Keyed on, it's hot, 12 volt. The other one is ground. All right, well, I hope this video helped. If you got any questions, let me know. And if you want to watch the full install, I'll put a link at the end of this video. See ya.